Hey guys, I'm Harry Daniel. I am joined as always by Guildford's Alex Pelling.
Hi everyone.
Listen, Alex, we both know why we're here. It's the 2024 World Championships in Malaysia.
hmm
This time we'll be having a look at Great Britain's under 24 women's team as they face Australia. This will definitely be a struggle. Australia historically have been a very strong team in all divisions, including the under 24 women. Alex, what do you think of the game today?
I think Australia is a massive threat, and they've been very strong in this competition so far. But the under 24 women's we haven't covered yet, actually. But of course, I've heard really great things, and I'm very excited to see how they perform. I think we're kind of narrowing down for the viewers at home what makes a strong team, that fitness, that ruthlessness, and they will need all of that if they want to fight up against Australia, because Australia and New Zealand, that's the area of some really, really strong Octopush teams, and they're bringing their A game today. So I'm very excited to see what happens. Harry, what do we know about Australia for Octopush? What's the diagnosis there?
The what do you know? Australia historically have been a very strong team. They've come top four in these age groups for quite a while. Last year there was the Golden Coast World Championships for the elites and masters, hosted in Australia. They've been playing for years. We know that they're a serious team here. But so are we. We've got some great names coming up today. Neve McNulty, under 24 women's player of the year last season. She'll be there today. She'll be vice captain. We've got York Uni's Esme Glass. We've got strong players in this team, but it will be a highly contested game. I'm always optimistic, but I'm uncertain of victory this time.
Okay, fantastic. Very, very excited for this one. By the way, everyone, if you can, remember to follow the Twitch, follow the Instagram, link in our bio, and we're trying to hit hopefully 50 followers on Twitch as soon as we can, and 1,500 followers on Instagram. So be sure to hit that follow button and help us reach those goals. And in the meantime, we're just in the start of the game now. The teams are lining up, and they should be ready to go for the first strike of the game. Here we go. Okay, go for the strike. That is clean.
Great Britain are in black and Australia are in white.
Exactly, and Great Britain have taken a strong ownership over the strike there. The Australians just waiting for them to go back round. Pushing up the water seems pretty strong so far. They're pretty happy with it. But Australia is just piercing through into
Common
our third now.
Common theme in these higher tier games is that you don't get any space to breathe. There's no space for the flicks and tricks that you've been practicing. It's all about the drive. It's been a referee call.
Absolutely. Here we go. That's for Great Britain. They're taking that. Nice formation there. But straight into the Australian brick wall there. As they're trying to take back control. Cruising up the wall. Really, really, really scrapping for it. But we are making distance. One more push there may see us moving to the corner. Not just yet.
We haven't covered this team specifically before, but a common weakness that we've seen from these GB teams is a lack of offensive manoeuvres once they do push the puck into the Australian third. Maybe the under-24 women will be different, but as soon as they push it to those critical areas, that's the time to switch the play.
Absolutely, but that is a very strong swim from Australia there. Pushing it right up, that's giving them quite a lot of space.
Great Britain's rotations have broke down as Australia just fierce in their drives here. Got it all the way across the pool. This will be an offensive free puck to Australia. And this is a critical chance at the start of the game. Let's see if Great Britain can defend this.
Send back up again, forming a strong line. They're just going to push through, stay in the bottom as long as possible because they know that going up to the surface could spell disaster. Was that a goal? Nope. Not just yet. Back up to that corner. Oh, that is a clean swim. But not clean enough. Yet another ref call. Harry, why are there so many ref calls in these games? What can we learn from that?
Like one of the reasons is because it's such an important tournament, international CMAS level. They only bring the best referees from each nation. It's also the fact that because there's so little space and because so much of it is just the greater physicality, it just happens. These fouls happen. I usually get told it's okay to commit a foul or two, but just don't keep committing the same one. You don't want players getting sent out. It means so much.
And we've seen that one point
in these higher tiers of the game.
In the match yesterday, I believe, where it was 4v6 for a whole 2 minutes. Was it maybe the day before? But it was a pretty dire straits there. It's started to get a bit more scrappy, but we'll see.
Great Britain have finally broke through the Australian defensive rotation now. Did not last long. And now the Australians are hitting back. It's been a very even game so far. It's been in the Australian third and the British third. But it's all been on this far side wall. There's been not much space at all. Great Britain really giving these Australians a go.
Okay. This is our first time covering Australia. So it's exciting to take a look at what they're doing. Right. Trying to take back control there.
Australians attempting to switch the play. Oh, it's been cleared away. Brilliant.
Very nice.
There. Now at the near side, we might be able to see what's going on. Great Britain using 2-on-1s here. They're getting through these Australians, and that is a lovely drive again.
There we go.
And now Australia really finding each other. Layoffs, flicks forward.
Nice push. Okay,
both teams
pretty good.
Really, you can tell both teams.
Oh, nice switch there.
You can tell both teams are trained for this. They've both been finding each other, utilising the spaces, getting it to the narrow spaces, and just using those 2-on-1s. They're two very strong teams. The puck now in the Australian corner. Australia trying to break out here. Britain have had a few drives in, and here's another one here.
Very close.
Right on the Australian tin.
One more push and they've got it. Very close. There's a ref call there. Bit of a reset. That must have been very, very close.
Against Great Britain. An extremely close attempt. The best chance of the game so far. Okay, Australia having a timeout. They'll definitely want to regroup and think, well, what just happened in those last 5 minutes? The dynamic of the game can change very quickly, as we can see when you've got fast players on both sides. It's been really back and forth. Alex, are you surprised by how even it is?
But even, yes, definitely. I think we're keeping it solid for nearly the kind of first quarter, which is normally kind of pivotal one. You can see when a kind of game's going a bit south. You can always start to see the warning signs of that maybe in the first quarter. But we haven't seen that. I'm pretty happy, but I'm sure that Australia's just trying to reconvene because both teams have had opportunities to score here, very, very close ones. But it's just not looking in for anyone right now. So we'll have to see.
These Great Britain teams have had a very shaky start. to this tournament. The under-24 men in one of the biggest upsets in recent history, losing 1-0 to Spain in the round robin. These under-24 women, they're sitting sixth in the table, and they will definitely be wanting to do better. And here they are against this Australian team pushing for the points.
We're pushing to the final matches of the round robin, so it's all to play for here.
Number 10, Niamh McNulty, doing an excellent job pushing the puck forward there. Drive is excellent.
Going back down. GB in black taking the free puck.
GB beelining it straight to the goal. Just trying to shovel it into each other.
Really just shoving it there.
Flicking the puck underneath the body, and here it is now. Go. It's so close.
I thought that'd be it right there.
Australia only just driving it, trying to get to the nearest wall, but they have to get past 2 GB players, and they have.
Australia, free.
There's only one woman left, and that's the 2-on-1 attempt. Can't get past Niamh McNulty, but the Australians keep driving. Chance for a counter-attack.
GB having sacrificed quite a bit of space there just to reset and have everyone down, but that is another strong swim all the way up. No, that can't be it. That can't be it. Wow. That was insane. Very, very good swim there. Got a replay.
That is a textbook attack there. Right from legs in, Australia driving it in the narrow spaces into their third. And once they start getting some momentum, the way impossible to defend against. And Great Britain will definitely not be happy with that going down against the run of play.
No. And very unsurprisingly, Great Britain in black are taking a timeout to discuss and kind of recover from that one and see what they can change. Again, we're in that second quarter now, and we're hoping that we can make it level by half time without conceding anymore. That'll be GB's aim for now. But this next strike will really show where they're at.
There are 20 minutes left still. Great Britain are known for their comebacks. It's never truly done. And if they play like they've done in these first 10 minutes, then the Australians have right to be worried still.
Exactly. It was a very, very skilled game. And fantastic to watch too. Right.
Excellent strike from Great Britain. Australia having to take it to the wall side. And perfectly executed 2-on-1 to get past the first man. The British defensive rotation's not faltering now, but the puck is in the centre of the pool as the Australians push it to the British third. There's multiple swims coming from this Australian team, but it has now been cut out. A free puck for Australia in their offensive third. Now here's a good chance to go 2-0 up. It's twice as good as 1-0
up. We will see. There we go. That's a square on push if they can make it through.
Another beeline straight to the goal.
Nice curl there.
Australia managing to peel it off.
Back up to the wall, just trying to get some distance away from their 10.
Britain not quite managing to get it to the wall. They have done now, but these Australian girls, they've always got someone behind the puck.
And the Australian team are really, really working for it. They're willing to practically chisel their way out from these corners. They will just stab at it if necessary. And that is very, very close. Lovely swim.
Textbook play from Australia. One swim and then a layoff, trying to drag people out of the game, flicking forward for 2-on-1s, just trying to utilise more bodies on the bottom to score a goal against this British team. But Britain have not faltered.
Absolutely. Okay. That's another. We'll see what happens there.
The Australian team have only committed one foul in 11 minutes, which is exceptional.
Very,
Australia
very
again
play.
just looking to beeline it straight to the British tin.
They're
It's
confident.
going very well for them as the puck's in an incredibly dangerous area.
They know they can take it. Absolutely.
And have not been able to clear the puck here, and it's very dangerous for them.
That may be a goal. We'll see what they say. Replay.
I didn't spot a foul there, but obviously the refs have a better view.
Wow. Again, just a clean one. They're going back.
Goal there.
2-0 as to come nearly to the first
Australia
goal.
being completely dominative ever since scoring the first. Great Britain ever since that first goal.
We will see another strike claimed by GB, trying to take it up into the Australian third, but that is just not enough at the moment. Would have been pretty clean. It's getting very close. I'm liking this. But again, just...
On two girls taken out by one flick. A terrible move from Great Britain.
Forth.
Now Australia trying to find each other now.
As they get more confident, their awareness of their other teammates in the pool gets even better.
An excellent drive from GB, taking out the Australian players in the layback. And this could be a great chance for Great Britain. There's 3 players driving at the tin, but Australia still managed to clear it to the wall. A 2-on-1 attempt by Australia has not deterred Great Britain. Now the puck is on the near side wall.
Okay. All right. Back there, Australia taking the free puck. Nice flick through. Just taken off by GB, but not enough to deter the Australians. Flick back, hoping to execute probably the same manoeuvre as they did earlier. That's what they're trying to aim for, because they know it works. Flick over. They just keep having these moments where they just outplay GB with those really well executed flicks. Maybe another one.
There's only one.
Close.
There was only one time in the first 5 minutes of the half where the defensive rotation didn't work out, but it's these switches that are killing Great Britain right now. They need more control of the game. They need their forwards to do their defensive responsibilities.
Could you talk a bit more on that, about what that means for GB right now? Just a bit more detail.
So usually when I might touch on it at half time, because right now Australia are doing an excellent drive towards the British tin, and it very well could be 3. The puck's still in the centre of the pool.
GB just summing it out. We're just
GB managed to clearing it now. Neve McNulty has saved it for Great Britain. The Australians just come again. They never stop.
And that's time for the half. Okay, Harry.
It's the half 2-0.
You were speaking a bit about the defensive responsibilities of forwards. You bet.
So, yes. So, most of the game, as we've seen, as of most of any game at any high tier level, the puck is usually very close to the wall on one side. The puck can only move 3 places, forwards and backwards, as players behind the puck will try and push it one way, but it could only move to one side. Whoever has the player to the side of the puck controls if it moves towards the middle or if it doesn't. Can players move on 45 straight to the tin, or can they not? And these Australians, as soon as they push it far enough up the wall, they're moving straight on 45s. It's what we saw with the first goal and the second goal.
Yes.
What I mean by
Break up a tiny bit.
Another 45 turned, and that's how they scored both times. They can't be opened up. That's how they've conceded these 2 goals.
Okay, so it's a bit of a rough one so far, but I think that with the right kind of attitude and response, it's not necessarily.
It's been a very even game, I would say, because Great Britain have had so many excellent chances right on the Australian tin. If they keep at it, it's still everyone's game. They've only really been fully dominated after they've conceded the first goal. For the most of that 15 minutes, it has been up and down. It's still very possible for Great Britain to get back in there, and I think all those girls know it.
Absolutely. And they're just substituting, refreshing their team, and swapping over to make sure that they are ready and confident for this second half, which I think could go pretty well if they're, again, willing to make those moves. Let's see. Okay. Refs ready to line the teams up and get them ready. And we're off. Let's see whether GB on the right, Australia on the left can still get that strike. Yes, they can. GB confidently taking it up, hovering to the wall. But you see, it's like a Baroque painting, just with everyone trying to go in for it. Just absolute crowd there. Just trying to, you can see Australia trying.
Sorry, Alex, I think I was a bit behind there, but I've caught up now.
Oh, that's right. Tiny bit.
Australia trying to pin it on their wall, just trying to deter the British, but
okay.
The puck was being driven towards the tin. It's straight into the Australian corner.
Exactly. And you have these moments along the wall where you can just try and shove it through. Australia's been doing that for a lot of this. But they're using that corner, just trying to get away from the Australian 10. And you can see them very confident because they know that they're supported. You see lovely speed there. And that's a ref call.
It has been a foul call.
Not necessarily enough to send someone out, but definitely enough for a free puck.
There's a knockdown call.
Against Australia, which may be one of their only fouls of this game.
Again, the offensive free puck for both teams we've seen is just a simple drive to the goal, and it has yet again not exactly worked.
Just trying to cruise
Here is
up.
McNulty trying to get around the Australians. It's not exactly worked, and the defensive rotation has broken down, and Australia can really counter here. And yet again, the Australians are able to go on the 45s. There's no control from the game at Great Britain right now, and they are collapsing.
Jesus, that was a
terrible goal to concede.
Wow.
After 2.5 minutes of complete control of the game from Great Britain, they just lose it instantly.
confident swim forward. But not enough. Let's see, on this will reset. Black timeout. I'm not surprised at all. Just reviewing and trying to talk this through. Harry,
well, you won't find much more even games than this, but
it's been beat to the punch quite a bit. Harry, what are the limitations on timeouts? Is it purely after a goal, or can you call them a limitation on the number of times you can call a timeout, for instance? Cutting out a tiny bit there. Are we back? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live, don't worry.
Great. Are there limitations on how many times you can take a timeout from a coach or captain perspective?
You can only take one timeout per half, and there's one
Right.
for each team. So there are, in these international CMAS games, there are usually 4 timeouts.
Fantastic. So that's it for Great Britain for this game then. Using those timeouts, going to have to use that knowledge for the rest of this game.
That is another knockdown call, but against Australia, but there seems to not be a team warning.
Not just yet.
We have not seen any players be sent out in this game, which is quite the contrast to the male part of the sport.
Absolutely.
The British going 3 to only to 3 men against the Turks.
That was
as we have previously covered.
Right. Another ref call there. Okay. Grip. I believe.
And
that should be a Australia ticket, if I can make that out correctly. Yes. And just trying to push up to that corner, which may give them a bit of a stronger position. Ref call there. Refs in and out the pool communicating to ensure the best result. Okay. Just pushing through. Okay. Just
yet another defensive Australian free puck.
Really fighting for it. Going down, taking puck and trying to swim it up to flick to teammates. But with 3-0 down, Great Britain has to change something to make the difference in these moments. Otherwise, it's just using time that they need desperately to make up the goals.
Still difficult to pinpoint where this has gone wrong for Great Britain. They've played excellently for 95% of the game, but for 5% of the game they've just had no bodies on the bottom. All the rotations, all the control, it just was lost. It's a really strange one. These are 2 evenly matched teams, and everyone knows it, but Britain just not able to have the results, which is it's a theme that we've seen from most of the games that we covered.
You can absolutely see that Australia did hit their stride. I'd say by the first quarter they were definitely happy with it, and it's just getting better and better for them as they progress through, because they have that full awareness of where they are in the pool, where their teammates are, and they make the passes seem effortless at this point. which makes it so easy to execute those switches and push it through to the goal. And that's what you want. And you can see what that does to a game like this, even when the players are basically matched.
Australia won't be happy with conceding that free puck. You never like to concede encroachment calls.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it's a referee timeout. 8 minutes to go. It's definitely looking like Great Britain can pull one back, but whether they get anything from this game will be a different story.
It may be enough time. I think they can go 3-2, at least, in my opinion. If this goes in, 8 minutes is more than enough time to get one more goal, and if they are willing to use their evidently better fitness to their advantage here, as demonstrated by those strikes. But
Great Britain, as always, for an offensive free puck going on the 45. It's not worked so far, but this time it looks to be very, very close as it gets scrappy towards this goal. Someone has to be brave. Someone has to take the mantle and score the goal.
Exactly.
And there's a badge of foul against Great Britain.
Push up to that wall, take out into space. They have lost that key moment near the goal there because Australia is very, very good at scrapping for it when it gets nasty by the tin. Will they get it? Just pushing through. Not a strong enough breakout to make a difference there.
The Australian drive right now is just next level.
Sally, we're really seeing the pinnacle here.
Great Britain get a free puck.
This should be a really, really good chance to break out. Here we go. Okay. Interesting stuff.
It's just been yet another wall scrap. If I was Great Britain at this moment, I would just be desperately, even if it's not necessarily in the Australian third, just flicking the puck, using the open spaces because they have to score a goal if they want to get anything out of this game. And it has to be now.
Absolutely. But anytime they get crushed,
and the puck is yet again in the Yet again, the puck is right in the Australian corner.
With 5 minutes left, they should not have to concede another goal. A 3-0 result, though devastating, should not be past that.
Australia will be content with 3 goals. As we know, the most important part of underwater hockey is the clean sheet. If points are even, the main thing they'll look for is how many goals did you concede. Australia, I'm sure, will be happy with a 3-0 win.
Absolutely. And with about 4.5 minutes left, we are solidly into the final quarter here. And this is where it all makes a difference. Great Britain have to change something and use this open space, otherwise they are done for. Pushing it back up.
Yes, the Australians driving, looking straight towards that British goal.
And we're seeing time and time again, solid strikes, solid ownership of the opponent third, but just not enough to win on the walls or by the tin. It is just excruciating. And this seems to be a universal issue between these different GB teams this year. Looking up.
And Great Britain using their free puck to drive it into the wall when they should be using open space.
Nice little swim.
The drive has worked, to be fair.
Through sheer determination. Hoping to get back to this corner again and again. The same situation. We'll see how it's different now. Absolutely. Taking it up.
Australia desperate not to concede. Great Britain, they know now they need to concede. They need to score even. And they'll want to get something out of this game. A game that they've played so well in.
Fantastic. Just trying to use this remaining time to push it round. And just even still fighting for it. The cardio on the GB team has been phenomenal. They've kept up the pace pretty consistently the whole way through, which is very impressive. They haven't started to falter, and they're still fighting just as much as they were at the beginning of the game. And they're not resorting to fouls at all. A very respectable approach here, and we like that.
You have to wonder now, will Great Britain want to go for a goal? The likelihood of them getting any points from this is very unlikely, so the main thing they'll be looking for will be to not concede again.
Absolutely. I think it's entirely possible to stall for this remaining 1.5 minutes.
For the majority of this second half, it has just been on that far side wall. Both teams hitting each other, but it's just been so even. The puck's barely moved. But it has been in the Australian third for quite a bit of it. But Great Britain just unable to get the puck out of the Australian corner.
This is not working for them for now. All right. Okay. Right. Let's see how this does.
A free puck for Australia now. They won't want to go for more goals. They just want to keep it in the goal channel.
Just stalling it out for the last 30 seconds now. I don't think they'll concede anymore. I think that this is going to be a 3-0 and that'll be it. But we'll see. GB playing very well.
Both teams just want. Well, both teams wanting to stall out the game for these last 5 minutes has made it quite a dull watch.
Yeah. But a very close one at that. Australia really pushing that.
Yeah, 24 women. After all this time, will they finally get a goal? No.
No, very, very close.
Free puck to Australia.
We must have had, say, 4 or 5 moments like that in this game of just really, really close goals where it was called as null and void by the ref. And we'll see.
It's the second disallowed goal for Great Britain.
Australia
going 90 degrees straight to the wall, not wanting to concede anything.
Just knowing that they have that tiny bit of time, they can stall it out.
but they've just lacked the extra 5% that Australia have given.
Right.
Well, George,
Wow. Harry, that was a pretty excruciating game. How are we feeling about that?
went wrong there, Alex. What do you think?
What do I think went wrong? I think that there were lots of. If you look at it kind of holistically through the whole match, no one was sent out from either side. No real like massive swims for the whole thing. Like no one like broke out hugely, apart from maybe the first Australian goal. So there wasn't anything like that where the whole thing broke down. Also, Team GB had basically every strike. They were confident with that, you know. So look at it overall, they played in that way how they want to play, but just not. They weren't able to execute it in those key moments, which is similar to our previous games. I don't know. It's a tough one because they did seem pretty evenly matched, but just again, it's that last 2% that makes the whole difference here. Harry, what do you think they could have done differently? What's the thought here?
Well, free pucks do come to mind. Every offensive free puck Great Britain had was a puck beeline straight to the goal on the 45. And although it did lead to some close chances, it never truly worked.
Yeah.
Maybe by trying to do a switch straight off the free puck, or I'm doing that. But there wasn't. This wasn't one where Australia were truly the better team. They truly.
No, I'd agree with you on that one.
Another loss for.
Yes.
This is again another loss for Team GB, and that will put them